Your first showing is always online, and it is so important that you make sure that it looks great. In today's video, I'm going to go through 3 homes that are good, bad, indifferent. I don't know. You tell me. But I'm going to give you the insights, the little tiny details that you probably don't see when you're looking at homes online. So let's get into it. So I talk to sellers all day long about their homes. I have a private Facebook group. We've almost at 5,000 people, and I'm going in there. People are posting their pictures, their comments, their questions, and I'm giving them answers to some of the biggest questions, specifically about how their homes look. Now, many of these people in my Facebook group have already downloaded my seller's playbook, and they are going word by word, chapter by chapter to make sure that they are doing it the right way. But I had so many questions in my Facebook group about these types of things. How does this home look? What about these pictures? What should I do with my home when I put it on the market? How do I stage? And I want to go into it and teach you exactly what I've learned. And I want to show you how I can tell certain things about homes that you may not. So as I said, many people are already using my seller's playbook. And if you did not hear about it before, it is free. I want to make sure that you download it. You can go ahead and click on the link below, go to seller playbook, or use the QR code. So the first house that I have is in Texas. And I, haven't done deep dive into these, but I just want to show you what I'm seeing when I'm looking at homes online. So this house, this first picture looks great. I love that picture. So let me tell you a little bit about twilight photos. Now, twilight photos can a lot of times be manipulated after they've been taken, or they can be done at twilight. The problem with doing them right at twilight is that you only have a very, very short window. So many times, a lot of these photos that you see might be digitally done, and you really can't tell the difference. Now, this one I do believe was probably taken at twilight. And the reason I can say that is probably because of these lights below that are kind of bright and blown out a little bit. So that's actually a really nice picture. So now let's look at the rest of them. Here's what I would say about this house is the first shot, the very first shot looked great, right? And then you put the second shot, which is a terrible shot. Like this shot I would not use in the front. Now maybe in the back, but one of the issues here that you see is this cracked concrete right there. And many of you know, and I say this all the time, that repairing concrete is one of my least favorite fixes that you can do before you get your home ready to go on the market. It's just not cost effective. Meaning if you do it right before you go on the market, most likely you're not going to get out of it what you put into it when you go to sell. Now, if you're living in your home and maybe you're moving in a couple years, then absolutely do that because it is going to get your home sold faster and maybe for more money, but it's not a risk if you're doing it while you're living there. This is why I always tell you, you got to make sure you're keeping up with all of your deferred maintenance. Now, when we look at this crack, you can see it doesn't look good and it's highlighted in picture 2. So you have to remember when your pictures are up online, you want to make sure that you're guiding them through the house, and your best pictures have to be up front because many times these buyers are very, very fast. They move very, very fast through the photos. So that first picture is great, looks like a great pool, nice twilight shot, and then you get to this one and you're kind of like, oh no, what is that? So then the third one doesn't look great either. Like I'm not loving how these photos look right after that first great picture. This picture, you can obviously see that this house is somewhat dated, but dated isn't necessarily always bad. So let's say somebody in my Facebook group was like, should I replace my front door? So this is a perfect example of somebody who's saying to me, should I replace my front door? And there's so many other questions that need to go into it before you say, should I replace my front door? So obviously looking at this, you can see that this house needs work. It's a little bit dated. So it's hard to say if that front door should be replaced. But one thing I can see right here is that this needs to be power washed. So I love power washing before you go on the market because it really makes things look fresh and clean. And when you are thinking about selling your home, I want you to go out to the driveway. I want you to stand at your driveway and I want you to look at the house like you would a buyer. I did this exercise the other day with a couple of my sellers and we went out to the front street and I said, okay, pretend you're a buyer. I want you to look at this house and what pops out at you immediately that you see. Now, we had been walking around the house looking at all these things that he was needed to do. Like he thought maybe he should fix a couple of things and repair a couple things. And when we walked out to the street and I said, okay, so what should you do? What should you do to this house? What are you seeing right now? And he said, well, the numbers to the house are crooked. Right. So the numbers of the house were crooked, which made it seem just off. He was looking at other things that might be more costly. I mean, how expensive is it to fix those numbers? Not at all. He might even be able to do it himself. So then the second thing I said is, okay, what else do you see in the windows? Now the windows looked okay, but I said, what else do you see? But when you were looking at the windows, the screens were actually pulled down, so the windows were not symmetrical across the whole front of the house. Now that is not a repair thing. That is just, it didn't look neat, it didn't look crisp, and it didn't look clean. So when you're out in front of your house, I want to make sure that you're looking at that as you walk in. So when you do that, you're going to see things like, maybe the stone needs to be power washed. So let's look through the rest of them a little bit. Okay, so when I'm going into this house, I'm seeing that is, I think it's tile. Pretty sure that's tile and not laminate. It's hard for me to tell, but I might be able to check. So you can see that it's definitely a little bit dated. So again, somebody says to me, should I paint my house? Now, when it's coming to me like this, is painting the walls a little bit more neutral going to detract from that flooring being super dated? No. This is why you really need to think about your whole home as a whole. So should I stage? Another question. Oh gosh. So this is exactly, and I haven't really looked at this, but this is exactly what I talk to people about when they are redoing their homes. So when you look at this house, you can see, all right, for those of you who know, one of my least favorite updates next to the cracked concrete is, yes, it is replacing countertops. Now, the reason I don't love to replace countertops is because you might have a lot of other stuff going on and people think, oh, I'm just going to replace the countertops and it's going to look fresh and it's going to look new. Now, you can see that these cabinets are older and they were painted. So the way that I know that these are older, even though they're painted, is that they've got this soffit up top. And so new cabinetry, new kitchens, remodeled kitchens remove the soffit and the cabinets go all the way up to the top. So I'm going to guess that this kitchen was really old and the seller said, you know what, I need to just update the kitchen because that's what I've been told. An inexperienced agent might have come in and said, yep, that's what you need to do. Well, in reality, the kitchen probably maybe needs to be redone. Now, it is livable, okay, because they did obviously replace the appliances too. But if they did that just for selling this home, they want to get a return back on it, right? So let's pretend they put, I don't know, $40,000 into putting new stainless in, painting, and the countertops. Let's pretend they did that. And then the flooring is a little bit different as well. Now they're thinking they have an updated kitchen, but a buyer coming in knows this is not an updated kitchen. Yes, it's livable. It's got some features that they like, but this is not really anybody's dream kitchen. So that's why it's so important that you make sure that you know what you're spending your money on before you put your home on the market. These people might have had an agent in to tell them what they need to do. The problem is if your agent is not experienced, your agent doesn't know either. You guys know I hate to talk about this. Like, I'm always saying agents need experience. Now, what I do when I walk into a home is I look at the overall picture for everything. And then I kind of come back and I say, okay, these are the things that you should be doing. Now, obviously, it makes the house show better, right? But somebody at this moment right now, by picture 10, already knows the driveway needs to be repaired, the house needs to be repainted, and the flooring in that entryway needs to be redone. The front door needs to be replaced. So by picture 10, they already know that. That's why you have to look at everything, not in a vacuum, but you have to look at it as a whole. So as we go through the rest of these, this looks okay, but now it looks like it's got this refrigerator in the other room. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. So they've spent all this money, but now there's a refrigerator in the other room. Like, why is the refrigerator in the other room? Wait a second. What is that? Okay, I'm doing this just like a buyer would do, okay? Because I'm super confused, but now I think I figured it out. That's an extra refrigerator, I think. But the problem is in these pictures, you're not seeing the refrigerator except for that one, right? So you see this. So now I'm like, wait a second. I don't understand this. Like, where is this? Okay, so I'm super confused because here's that. Okay, now it should be right here, right? It should be right here. So I think that is right there. This is another thing. Your pictures need to show like going in and out of a room. So when you take a picture of just like, a room with the corner, you can't tell how it feels in the rest of the room. So now I'm looking at this and I'm confused because I don't know where the refrigerator is. See, they didn't take a picture of the actual refrigerator in that angle. So while they took a picture of this, they're not taking a picture inwards so you can see how that flows. Now, maybe there's a floor plan, I'm not sure, but you can see what I'm saying. Okay, now, so many of you out there, I know, because I know you guys personally now from my Facebook group and just helping you find agents, is that now I know you're going to go and tell your agents exactly what I'm saying. It's just, Katie said you need to do this. Okay, no, many agents have their own way of doing things, but I'm just saying, if you get your pictures back and you don't see something like that, that is something you have to ask for. Okay, so don't go trying to tell your agents you know more than they do, because it's not going to work. Usually it doesn't work. So you can kind of see what I'm saying here. Now, this is interesting because this tone of this picture is different than the other pictures. So I don't know if this was done after the fact. So you can see like this tone is like a white, brighter color, and this is like yellow. So I don't know if this was like an iPhone picture. It looks a little bit like it might be a little crooked. So I know we're only on picture 11. I think I've spent 7 minutes on this. Okay, so now we're going through the rest of the house. You can see that flooring does go through there. It's carpet, which is fine. I mean, this all looks fine. I would say that it's probably staged fairly well. Again, this picture looks more like an iPhone picture. I don't know. It looks a little crooked. It looks a little yellow. This is fine. I mean, these are fine pictures. Again, this is okay. I mean, it shows what it is. It's kind of a cool bar there, but somebody's probably going to redo all of this. Okay. So now when you're in your house and you're thinking about what you need to do to get it ready, when you're thinking, staging or whatever, this is what I want you to think about. This is kind of like a new rule of thumb that I came up the other day as I was talking to one of my sellers. When you're in somebody's bedroom, okay, let's say somebody walks into your bedroom. They don't want to feel like you've just slept there. So I know you know that, but I want you to view it like a hotel room. I want you to step back in your bedroom, any of your bedrooms, and I want you to look at your bedroom with the bedding, with the pictures, with the stuff there. And I want you to say, okay, would I sleep in this room if it was a hotel room? That's what I really want you to think about. Would I sleep here if it was a hotel room? Now, based upon that, you're going to be looking at your bedding and go, ooh, well, that pillow looks kind of old, or that doesn't look very clean, or that looks really old and dated. The bedrooms are really important to make sure that you're not giving like this ick feeling. I want you to make sure when you're in your bedrooms that they look like a hotel room. That's like your guide. If you don't have me there, I want you to have this guide saying, okay, does this room look like a hotel room? This room looks like a hotel room. So they did actually quite a very, very good job. Now, maybe it looks a little bit more like a bed and breakfast, but it looks very nice. Does this look like a hotel room? It looks maybe a little messy, maybe a little plain. That's fine. It's more of a documenting picture. Again, this is okay as well. But some of the best pictures, like this is a great bathroom. That's a great shower. We're at picture 22. So now if you're trying to get somebody to come into your house and you've got a lot of stuff that needs to be updated, but you got things that are updated, I really think maybe you should put things that are updated more in the front. Remember, you only have probably those first 10 pictures to get them attracted to it to continue to go through. So make sure you use those first 10 pictures to be the best pictures possible. Like this is a great bathroom, it looks like. So again, this bedroom looks really nice. These bathrooms look good. They look a little bit updated. So that flooring's like an LVP. I'm not quite sure. I don't love it. Like, I know I've talked about that's the best thing to replace your floors with, but the shiny stuff I don't love that kind of looks like wood, so maybe not make it too shiny. This bathroom looks okay. It looks a little odd to me because you have that big plant there. You have no toilet paper here. Now, this cross here, I always talk about taking out anything that's religious, just because you never know who's going to be looking at your home. And it doesn't mean that being religious is a turnoff. So I've sold many things in the houses that are religious based. I've sold many homes with crosses, things like that. But when it's literally the only thing on the wall, people do look at that. So this picture looks just a little bit awkward because there's all that empty space and then there's this plant, and there's no toilet paper there. So I'm not quite getting that. So here's that other refrigerator that I mentioned that's in the laundry room that got me confused. Now you can see that these are original, right? With these, they were just painted. So when you're saying to me, should I repaint my cabinets? Well, if you were this house, would there have been a need to repaint these cabinets? No, because most people are probably going to rip out a lot of stuff here. Now this back is really nice. This is very nice, very crisp. So when you're looking at things, it's clean, 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 and crisp. So you can tell this house is very clean, and this is absolutely gorgeous, right? So probably what I would have done is I would have done that first shot that I showed you, and then I probably would have done this. I mean, this is spectacular, but you have to go all the way through 29 pictures before you get to this one. I mean, this is really, and I wouldn't include this until the end of everything, because that obviously is a bathroom that's in the outside bar area. So you want to make sure it's not confused for the inside. So this is really beautiful. I mean, really, really wonderful. And there's a lot going for it. Okay, so now I want to go into this listing a little bit and just show you what I'm seeing as well. So this is 3 bedrooms, 4 baths, 3,400 square feet. Set on 2.3 acres, scenic creek and mature oaks. It's a resort style amenities. Yep. Sunken living room, features a large Austin stone fireplace and wet bar, creating a cozy lodge atmosphere. Primary suite includes a study, ensuite bath, outdoors, enjoy a pool with pool house, bathroom, covered area, perfect for gatherings. Now this home has only been on for 5 days on Zillow, and it has 443 views and 50 saves. I get a lot of people who reach out to me and they use this as their barometer for whether or not their home is doing well, and they get upset with their agent if this specific number is not high. That's a hard thing to say, specifically if you're in like a destination area. People might be out of state. So it's not always the best indicator. I mean, it doesn't hurt. Like, obviously, that's a pretty good ratio. So the real reality is I would ask the seller, how many showings have you gotten so far? Because that is what's going to really be the indicator. And if you're not getting showings right out of the gate, you know what I'm going to say? Your price is too high. So now somebody in this price point who is looking for a lot of land and possibly a pool should come to this house. Whether or not the price is $50,000, $100,000, maybe too high, they should come because it has exactly what they're looking for. So if you're getting showings and then nobody makes an offer, the price is usually too high in those first 2 weeks, because you get your first most significant people who already have a pre-approval letter, they're working with an agent, right in those first 2 weeks. That's really, really the indicator. Now, if you are in a very slow market, it's hard because, you have to decide how long you're going to wait for somebody to come and buy your house. So you need to figure out the stress versus the price. And if you are in a regular market or a super hot market and you're not getting any showings, your price is just too high. If you're kind of in a slow market or a declining market, you just may need to wait a little bit longer, but your price is probably still too high, because if I list your house for $1, somebody's going to come and buy it. So that's how you can always know the market is not that soft where nobody's not going to buy it if the price is that low. Does that make sense? So this one, I feel like it's very strong. I feel like it's got a lot going for it. But one thing I'm noticing here is that it says lot size is 0.9 acres. Now, I suppose there could be 2 PIN numbers for that parcel, but remember what we said up here, set on 2.3 acres. So now, here's the issue with that. And I don't know everything, because like I tell you guys, is that I'm not in these specific markets, so I can't tell you specific detail. But what I can tell you is that that is really 2.3 acres. And somebody is going into Zillow and they are putting in that they want more than 1 acre. They're searching. Or if the agent, it's like that in the MLS, and the agent is sending out searches for more than 1 acre, that property is not going to be in that search. So that is something I'm just seeing on my own that I would probably question a little bit and find out what the story is there. Overall, I feel pretty solid about this listing though. I can't tell you if that price is too high at $587,500. I will tell you, I know some agents do the 500. You'd have to ask them why they do that. I never do. It's not bad or good. But now let me ask you, going back into this listing, now that I've shown you, this whole house and you look at that front picture, which absolutely is great, wouldn't that second picture be better, the one that looks down over the pool, than this one? I mean, the other picture would just go a lot further than this. So now going back through it again, you can see there's a lot of great things about this house. It's very clean. It's in good condition, but it just needs some work a little bit because of the way the house looks right when you come in the front door. So I do like this house though. I think there's got a lot going for it. It looks very solid. So I'll check in and see if it's sold. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, so this house I found because I did a search for homes that have been on the market for more than a year, and this one popped up. And so, you know, I think you guys can tell what are really good pictures and what are not really good pictures. But this one I wanted to pull up because I did more digging on this one. And so when you look at this first picture, the first picture is blurry. It's hard to tell if a home is priced correctly or if it's good if your pictures are bad. So I want to go through this one with you. So this picture is blurry. I mean, it doesn't look great. There's picture 2, which is blurry. There's picture 3 that's bad and blurry. I mean, like, this is not attractive at all. You've got this truck in the driveway. Like, I want you to remember, this is emotional. Like, you want people who are going to be paying, you know, $400,000 for a house to feel some emotion. It's where they're living. It's where they're raising their family. Their children are going to run in the front yard. And like, you're looking at this thinking, well, I don't want my kid in that front yard. So now again, we go inside and it's another blurry picture. And these pictures just, I mean, you do not need me to tell you these are not good pictures, right? Like, you guys know that, okay? Like, you know, right? We got this. I've been doing this long enough where if you're following me, like, this is not good. So, you know, here's what I would say is that a seller wants this house sold. I'm assuming, but there's no effort gone into getting it ready for the market. That's what I really don't understand. Like, I hate to talk about how difficult it is to sell a home, but it is. It can be very traumatic. And when, you know, this home is empty, but when you are living in a home and you have to do showings and you're not prepping it the right way for your marketing, it can really, really hurt. So like, you can see this bathroom has actually been redone, which is nice. So that's good. But then the pictures don't make it show very good. And it looks okay. It's got some hardwood in there. Actually, this house has some good bones, right? Like, you can see it's got some decent features. I mean, it's got some newer lighting fixtures. The other thing I don't love, which I've talked about, is these vertical pictures, the up and down pictures. Like, there's a difference between showcasing a home and documenting a home, and this is documenting a home right here. It's just documenting that. Now, that actually looks cute. I want you to think if this picture was done, like, cuter, you know, like in a better way. Like, this actually looks kind of cute, but the photos make it look just terrible. Like in this, like, that doesn't look good either. I mean, I feel like this is kind of like, I don't know, home schizophrenia or something, just because it's just, the home actually looks pretty good. I mean, they've done an okay job staging this. So now let me look at this home here. So it's been a long time. Freshly remodeled, 5-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom, completely ready to go. Happy family move-in. Okay. All the bathrooms have been remodeled along with fresh paint and solar panels that you can feel like you're helping save the planet. So your good deeds are filled on a daily basis. Not really why somebody wants to buy a home and pay more for it, but okay, that's a benefit. Lots of room to do as you wish, only 3-minute walk to the hospital. All I can say is to take a look at the photos and come take a tour so you can see yourself, and you will be sold, especially if you like solid wood floors, a thick rainforest vibe in the backyard as you have a cup of coffee on the rear upper deck. The lower level has an almost full kitchen, so yes, that means 2 kitchens in this home. Wow, that's a lot of great stuff. And the house does look pretty good. So let me just see what's going on here. It says listing removed. So that would have been a rental. So it looks like this is being, or was being rented out. So this is a little confusing. So it looks like they did a price change in the beginning of the year to $425. And it looks like they were renting it. Okay, so it looks like this was a rental and now they're trying to sell it, and it's been trying to be sold for 10 months. So I was doing a little digging to see, is the agent experienced? What's the story? What's going on here? And so I dug in a little bit to the agent. I found this agent owns like a flat fee listing service. And so I was like, okay, so the house looks pretty good. Like there's a lot of good stuff going with it. I mean, yeah, probably you can tell it was a rental, but it does look pretty solid. So then I was like, okay, so I want to look at this agent. I found this agent and they're a discount brokerage. They're not even like a brokerage. They're really just a flat fee where you pay and they'll send somebody to take pictures and put it in the computer and the MLS and all that stuff. They have 3 different levels. The lowest is $99. It includes listing on the MLS. It will go into all the websites, maximum pictures allowed, open house schedule. So this is kind of like a for sale by owner. That's like a moneymaker for this company because all they literally have to do is put it into the MLS and then they're done. They don't help, they don't advise, they don't take pictures, they don't do anything. If you really knew what you were doing, yeah, I suppose you could do this, but I don't really recommend it at all. Then you've got the $3.99 one, which is the professional pictures. Photography session, you own the pictures, listed in the MLS, you can do flyers, you're still listing it by owner. And then the $5.99 one means you get more experienced personnel, they negotiate. Even that, so like all the advice, all the information that I give you, you're not going to get that from this type of a company. And so if I were talking to the seller, I would say, okay, there's a lot here. You've got a great place. Like that guy should have at least paid for the upgraded high resolution photos because there are some things in that property that could be really, really good. And the brokerage, I mean, they're telling you what they're doing. So they're also good. Like, they're not saying that they're not going to do what they say they're going to do. So what I would say to you guys is like, while you may not get marketing and you may not get how things are sold and bought, the general public does. You may not think that certain things that I'm talking about on this channel are important, like because you don't think it's important and you're the type of person who thinks you know everything. I say that in fun, but I also say that to those of you who think that all real estate agents are stupid and don't know what they're doing. Now, there is a middle area there. There are a lot of agents, as I tell you guys, there are a lot of agents that are fantastic. Making sure you have one of those is really important. So I know I'm kind of rambling on here, but I really want you guys to understand the significance of what I'm teaching here. Like, this company is doing a great job because they're putting in the MLS for these people. But you have to really understand yourself. You have to really understand what you are capable of. Do you know this market? Do you understand these buyers? So as we went through this whole house and I got through a lot of this, I mean, there are a lot of really good things about this house. But the buyers aren't going to see them because of the photos in this home. I know, kind of a long, drawn out thing. And I know my editor had to figure that one out, but that was kind of a mess. But I guess what I'm saying is that the little things that you may not think are worthy are worthy. Definitely, definitely. And I'm going to do one last quick one. We'll get through it real quick. And let me just show you one more. Hey, as you guys know, I am more than happy to help you find a couple of agents specifically in your town. Yep. Right there, the best agents in your town. If you tell me exactly what you're looking for, I am going to find those. I'm going to give you a couple choices, and then you are going to get to choose an agent. All you have to do is fill out our form. We now have a text opportunity. All you have to do is text me and it says find agent, and I will go ahead and send you the link that you need to have to fill it out to get 2 to 3 agents to you this week. I'm telling you, we've done this for thousands of people. We can do it for you too. Okay, so let's get into the last home, and I can talk to you a little bit about how this looks. This is a home, obviously. It looks like it's in Florida, and these are good quality pictures. So it's kind of interesting how they did kind of like a 2-for-1, right? They did the front and then they showed the pool right there on the front. I actually haven't seen that done, but that is kind of interesting. So you kind of show the front of the house with part of the best home. So that's actually a pretty good idea. This shows the location. It shows that it's on that water. If that's desirable, then that is a great picture too to show. So now we're getting into some detail pictures, which, we get into the house on picture 6. That's fine, but I probably would have tried, you want those first 10 pictures to be the best ones there. So now when I'm looking at this, I'm kind of like, I'm seeing like a lot of like black and white lines. I'm not real sure what that is. This picture looks a little funny. This picture looks like it's hand drawn. Like, it's one of those apps. I think it is. I think that they put these pictures like in a drawing app. No? What am I missing? That picture looks okay. I mean, there's a lot going on here. So like this picture here, like, doesn't that look like it's drawn like from an app? Well, wait a second. This one does not. I have never seen this before. So you can see that I'm very confused by these pictures. Okay, so now if you're a buyer, as a buyer, I'm looking at this going, I don't get it. Now, if I was a buyer who is looking in this price point in the specific location, I'm going into that house no matter what, okay? But now I'm very confused. So I don't even know what to say. I feel like I'm kind of like in Pee-wee's Big Adventure or something. I don't know. Okay, now look at that picture. And look at that picture. What? So here's the deal, is that these pictures were probably, I'm going to say they were probably okay when they were uploaded. But I'm thinking that somewhere between the MLS and the upload, like something happened and everything changed. I mean, look at this coloring is really bright. Something happened with these photos. Okay, so this one I just got very confused by, and I just stopped showing it to you guys because I was just very confused. So I did go looked up the agent. The agent is a newer agent. Now, there are a lot of great newer agents who partner up with a team who are great. They're great out there. However, what has happened here, like I'm going to guess that these are solid pictures that were uploaded and somehow in translation they got screwed up. But the reason I know that is because things like this have happened to me where I've done something and then I'll be like, what the heck? What just happened? Like something didn't work out right. So then you have to go back and you have to start over and you have to figure it out. Is it the way the photos are exported? What is it? But this is what I'm telling you guys, is that an experienced agent, somebody who's done more than like 150 deals in the last 5 years, has had something like this happen. It's not that they're awesome. It's that they have seen a lot of the things that could happen that could go wrong, like this. And I'm not going to say that that agent thought that was okay because they don't look quite right. They look drawn. So something I think happened in translation. But I know as an experienced agent that we have to check our Zillow listings after. We have to look at them after they're uploaded. That's why I offer the service that I offer to help you guys find a real estate agent. And when I'm looking at agents, this is what I'm doing. And Lisa, my daughter, helps me do this. And Mia, who's been with me for years, helps me look for these agents. And then we look at them and we decide who has the best pictures, who has enough experience. Are they too big? Are they too small? Have they had enough deals in the last year? So we can tell if they've only sold like 5 homes in the last year, but they've sold like 250 in the last 5 years. That means to me that they're older. Maybe they're transitioning their business. I mean, it's these little tiny things that you guys can't know, that you guys don't know, because I've been there, I've done this, I've been in the trenches, I've made all of these mistakes. Like, that's why I can look at an agent and be like, all right, I completely understand their business. I completely understand what they're doing. I completely understand their team. I completely understand their marketing, their social media. You guys, it's so hard for you to figure that out on your own. So that's why I am giving you all of these resources. I've got my Facebook group. Even if you don't want to post, you can jump in there and you can just see what we're talking about, because my goal is to make you the best partner that you can be with your real estate agent when you go to sell your home. And for you new agents, I know I have a lot of new agents who watch this channel and they say, how am I supposed to get experience if I'm new? I mean, you're telling people not to hire me. No, what I'm telling you as a new agent is you have to own it. You have to say, you know what? I'm going to go partner up with this awesome agent in my brokerage. I'm going to learn every single thing I can from him or her. And that is what I'll tell you is energy. That is drive. That is ambition. And any seller out there who has one of those newer agents who loves the ambition, who's ready to go, who has the energy, and they partner up with an experienced agent who's mentoring them and guiding them, that is a great, great fit. So I talk about this all the time, is that you don't know, all of you don't know what you don't know because you haven't done it. And until you do it, or until you have that partner who's done it, there's just so many things that can go wrong that can cost you lots and lots of money, tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I know that was kind of my long drawn out thing just based upon this last picture of this house that I didn't really look at before I threw it up there. So I want you guys to stick around. I want you to subscribe. I'm here for you. Reach out. You can join my Facebook group. Download my Seller's Playbook. It is free. It's been downloaded over 25,000 times. And if you guys need an agent, I'm here for you. I promise, no pressure at all. I've got tons of recommendations from sellers just like you who said that we made their lives so much easier because we help them find the perfect partner to sell their home. So as always, I'm here to help you sell fast for more money, but especially stress-free.